you start off why, right? With all these options and choices.
I'm looking for substance. So if you can't come with a substance level of conversation, I have no interest.
Okay.
You black man taking a liking to how my lifestyle is living and how I'm going, man. You being intrigued, man. That's very humbling for me, man.
Okay, start back over. Hello, how you doing today?
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. What's been up with you? How have you been?
Yeah, really good. Well, I had some slow living time, and I love that.
Great. Have you? I know last time we spoke, you told me you were kind of branching out into doing like was it mental health work or what was it again?
Well, what I do is, in fact, no, I am an NLP therapist, so Neuro-Linguistic Programming, and a spiritual life coach. So normally I help people with that. But after my healing journey, I began to realize that there was more to learn, and there was especially more in the sense that we speak a lot about manifestation, law of attraction, and the simulation metrics. And I realized that there was way more than what we thought. And now I'm guiding the people to discover themselves within life, or I would say within the simulation that we live in. Who are you in the game? Which avatar are you playing? And how can you dissociate yourself from your avatar to be able to control your own game, to be the hero of your own journey?
Okay, to be a master of your own universe in a sense, right?
Yeah.
So say what was the title of the profession again? It was spiritual. Say it one more time. I drew a blank. Say like what was the type of coaching that you did? Was it life coaching or spiritual coaching?
Yes, I did all three. Well, in fact, I did many. I did burnout, depression, stress. So I did a lot of, I would say more than 10 in coaching. Also
Okay.
the body, also in the body, I learned how you can make the body, the mind, and the soul work together.
Okay. So yeah, because I've heard spiritual coaching before, but I've never met someone who has done, that type of work before. So welcome to the show. I appreciate you coming on. I know you're a busy lady. You got a lot of clients that you want to help out. But why don't you, before we get started, why don't you just introduce yourself to the viewers? Let them know where you're from. I think people are really going to want to know a lot about you.
Yeah, especially because my accent is different.
Oh, it's a great accent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was born in Paris. My family comes from Guadeloupe, which is a French island in the Caribbean Sea. And I lived 20 years in the Netherlands, and now I'm in Spain. So I moved a lot within Europe, and everything was about, in fact, what do I want in my life? So I remember that when I was 7, I said to my mom, after we came back from vacation, from holidays in Guadeloupe, I said, I don't want to work till I'm 65. I want to enjoy life before. So somehow I think that's what I did. I tried to do that by living where I wanted to be, experiencing life, experiencing people, experiencing myself. And why spiritual coaching is more like when I want to help someone, I look at this person completely. So the body, the mind, and the soul, how you move, how you speak, which word you use, how you behave. And what I notice is with spiritual coaching, you are able to help someone way faster. It's like when you want to explain there is a God to someone who doesn't believe in God, it's not spiritual. You understand? This person doesn't believe in it, and he doesn't need to believe in it to understand his own life. So it takes more time. With the spirituality, the good side of it is that you can already speak about more things. People accept more things within that reincarnation. That you can connect with guides, that there is a God, that you may be a part of God because you are his child. Maybe you are God. So, you can build up way more faster the coaching. And every time when I help someone, the therapy or the coaching is always, I want you to take back your life in your own hands, because I don't have the solution of your life. I just can only guide you, explain you why the things happen, how they happened, what you can do with it, because they happened for you. But the answer is within you. I cannot give you the answer. So, yeah.
So it sounds like it sounds like the Matrix a little bit, because you did bring up like living in a simulation, right? And it's almost like you're like almost what's his name, Morpheus, right? Kind of guiding people through this. Maybe, I mean, it sounds negative to start. I mean, who starts a therapy without some negative or some trauma, beforehand? But it sounds like you meet these people in the despair, almost like how Neo was living in the real world, and, just day-to-day monotonous task, like at work, and nothing special. But then he began to notice like these people are moving in patterns, and I want to be outside of that matrix. I want to do something better with my life. So it's like you're almost like an angel, just kind of walking them into a better existence.
Exactly. I don't change anything from who he is. I just let him see what he is doing. And if you want to reach something, sometimes when you don't reach it, it means that you need to change something. And the need is for you, it's not for me. So if you want something else in your life, I'm going to help you to see your life so you are able to take back the control over your life within the matrix. So it's not about saying the system is bad, the politics is bad, everything is bad. Nothing is bad. Everything is, in fact, a projection of what we are and who we are and how we feel. So somehow we have a lot of freedom. But when we think that we don't have the freedom, then we are not able to move. So it's about giving them also back their own freedom, the freedom of choosing. And when we are completely into the traumas, we lose the freedom because we are too much into, for example, I would say you feel like a victim because someone did something to you, or you lost your job is because of your manager. And then you spend all your time being angry at your manager and thinking, but what you don't see there is that this happened for you. It means that maybe what you are not seeing is what you don't want to see yet, but it was a gift. Because it is a simulation, because it is a game. So then I can explain that even more. But it's especially seeing that generally when we are in a job where we don't like to be there, our whole body, our whole mind is busy with going somewhere where we don't want to be.
Yeah, so you're exactly right.
What do you say?
I say you're exactly right. I can think about a few jobs that I've worked at where, they're not fulfilling, and my whole body is taking on like a bit of unhealthiness because I'm in this environment and it doesn't feel functional to me. And I like the fact that you said it doesn't necessarily make the environment or the job or the predicament wrong. It just makes you the wrong person for that environment or predicament, or maybe it's the wrong time for you to be there. It's not your time. So I think that's important. Mm-hmm.
And you can learn so much from this. When you think only at the manager who fired you, you just have one story. When you begin to open yourself for more stories, just like you say, oh, but wait a minute, I didn't like what I was doing. Oh, wait a minute. I was triggering all the time my manager because, in fact, I wanted this place. you know? So
Mhm.
when you begin to open yourself for the story, begin to be honest with yourself on what was really your situation in your work and with your work, and how were you going to the work, and what do you really want inside, then maybe you will realize, in fact, you were just, waiting for something better. But because you already had this, you didn't look for something better. And at the moment you lose that, then suddenly you are able to open yourself for exactly what was for you, what was meant for you. But as long as you are there, you cannot see what is meant for you. And as long as you
Wow.
continue to cry on this, you will not see what is meant for you
That's
for your next
powerful.
step.
Yeah, that's powerful stuff. It's almost like you are giving me therapy right now, spiritual guidance. I'm kind of absorbing some of the vibe from you right now. Let me go ahead and pin you real quick, because it's always, when I do this stuff, it's always something that I miss. And I just want to make sure that I pin you so we can have you, for the most part, always on this screen. All right, cool. I got you covered. So I do want to kind of throw it back a little bit, because there's this song, and I'm sure you've heard it before. I've heard songs from Paris. I've heard songs from all around the world. And maybe you heard this song. It's called Right Time, Wrong Me. I can't remember who sang the song, but it was always profound to me to listen to just that hook, because that is so thought provoking. Because so what do you say to a person where they're the wrong person, and the environment, the place, the that is actually good, but they're not at the right place where they need to be? I know I just garbled that up. Sorry. But let me rephrase it really quick, because I hate when I do that. I never get a chance to fix it. Okay. Hold on. Okay, here we go. What do you say to someone that is in the right place, but they're wrong, if that makes sense?
Well, first, if they think that they are wrong, they are wrong. So that's the first thing, is when you are thinking already that it's not your place, it's not your place. At the moment you begin to think differently. So what I would say, it means, I cannot say directly because I don't know exactly the person. We would say that what is his emotions, what is he dealing with. So I first need to take in account that. But normally I would say that you are at the right place. It's only your mindset which is not at the right place, because you speak to him on a bad way. Instead of, for example, you can say, I have to do that. So for example, you have work, and then you need to send an invoice to someone, and you say, I have to send an invoice. So you say, I have to send an invoice. Your mindset is about making something which is difficult. When you say to yourself, oh, I have the possibility to send an invoice and earn money, you change completely your mindset. Because it's not anymore, I have to do something. It's, oh, wait a minute. If I send that, there is money coming back. So I have the possibility to do it or not. And that's where you are able to come back into the right place. Often when you are not in the right place is because you have some traumas that you didn't identify, some wound, emotional wounds that you don't know that they are there. That's why you cannot stay there. That's why sometimes we have some relationship with people and we cannot stay together, because we have some things going on that we are not aware of. And as long as we are not aware of, the right place will not be the right place if we are not able to see that we make it the bad place.
Well said. Well said. Because as we're talking about this, even though we didn't mention relationships, I'm glad you did. I think that this could be definitely helpful for people who are in relationships, and they have these thoughts and preconceived notions and perceptions about how maybe a person is supposed to be, or whether that person is providing something that they want. And ultimately, you could be with a really good person and blow it because your perspective is off. So have you coached people who have been in relationships? Like, give us an example. Tell us like a story about that and how you helped them overcome that.
Yeah, well, well, for example, I remember a man who was in a relationship and which was not working, and he was thinking about cheating, and in fact, the point is he was not speaking with his wife, and he didn't know what he needed to speak about, in fact, because he had emotions that he was keeping inside, which were from really long time ago that he didn't know about. So first, he first needed to become aware of his emotions. And on this way, I showed him on his body. Look, how your body is. I see stress here. I see stress there. I see this. I see that. So there is something that you don't say to yourself. And then it began to open himself to become, to cry, in fact. And the body changed. So from itself, he was like this. And from remembering that moment, from let it go, the body changed and the shoulders get down. And now he didn't cheat on his woman, on his wife. He realizes that he was hurting himself in the relationship, that the relationship was good, but he had created a story that this relationship was not good based on something that had happened before and that he felt that he couldn't speak about.
Okay. Now, yeah, I definitely see that. I just wonder though, like, especially in the US, I think last time we spoke, we talked about this, that our divorce rate, right, in the US is very, very high. Our relationship breakdowns are very, very high. I would probably say 80, 90% of our relationships have a turnaround of less than a month, right? And in my mind, I'm like, and especially, okay, so women over here divorce men at a higher rate, close to 70%. 70% of divorces are initiated by women. And that's got to be something to do with perspective and exactly what you're talking about, because in my mind, and I think a lot of men feel like this too, and a lot of women on the other side, but how can all these men or women be this bad in relationships? It has to come down to something that's inside of your heart, right? Can you speak to that? Help us out in America. We need marriages, especially healthy Black marriages. Help us out in America.
Yeah, wow. To help it, the one of the point would be first in the relationship to realize that what annoys us in someone else is something that we are missing within us. So it has in fact nothing to do with the person. It has everything to do with us. But we are going to project. So that's why the rise came. Before, the women were accepting way more. Now they realize, okay, but it's not anymore equal. I'm taking care of another child instead of having a partner next to me. The other side is the man learned that it was the kind of relationship that he would get when he would be an adult. So at the moment, it clashes. So he goes into a relationship. He attracts someone who looks like, and he doesn't know that, his mother. She is attracted by him because he looks like someone which was not present in our man. And then they come together. And what happens is there is the connection, same level. The only point is, within the woman, maybe it lies something to go down because we are in a patriarchal, it's the man having the power. So it lies something within the DNA, unconscious, that she's going to go down, and from down, expect to be equal. Then at the other side, you have the man coming, and he's coming from up. And then when he's up, he stays up, because she's going down, but then she fights to come up. And then that's where they don't find themselves anymore, because he lose the images that he had put on her. So he lose the mask fall down.
Okay, I think I see what you're saying. Yeah, go ahead, please. No, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so the attraction is real, and normally we are souls, so normally we are able to stay with each other. The only problem is all the stories that we have built ourselves on, so the stories from the past, make it difficult sometimes to stay with someone else who is exactly the representation of what we don't want, but what we attract. And yeah.
Wow. Okay. So let me push forward a little bit with that. So, because it also is a lot of people in relationships that they stay in them past the expiration date, right? Past the point of where they've had these problems and cheating has already occurred, abuse has already occurred, manipulation has already occurred. So what advice can you give to those people who want to work through that as a couple? And what advice can you give to people who want to break apart the relationship as a couple?
Well, for the one wanting to stay together, it can only happen together. So it means that the other one needs to want to work on it. Because if you are being beaten every day, for example, and if the other one doesn't want to work on it, he's going to continue to beat you, because you don't need to do anything. The story that he has in his mind, that's why he's beating you. It's not you, it's the story. And because he cannot deal with this story, he's going to beat you up. So if you stay, he needs to face that. And you cannot help him, because you are the one, you are the punching ball. So he needs to be helped by someone outside. So that's the story of, if you want to stay, you cannot help him. He needs to help himself. And that's where often the relationship stops. It's because he doesn't want to help himself. So there is no way to stay together except to continue to be lower. The best would be the first time that he kick, you kick back.
Yeah, that happens too. Yeah, that happens as well.
Yeah. But, you know, I make a joke now, but it means that already you feel that he wasn't, we fall in love with people because they represent something for us. Mm-hmm. When we have a wound, a lot of the love that we give to someone is based on the wound that we have. Someone who think I'm going to kick you and it's all right, he has a wound of being kicked, of being unseen, of being unloved. So he doesn't know, he didn't learn how to give it in another way than on this way. So for him, it goes together. Beating is loving. Where as long as this story is now in a loop, and as long as this story is continuing within his mind, nobody can take him out. Okay. So he wants to come out. And the woman too. So this part of the beating is a little bit different than having problem in communication. You know, when it comes to the body and really beating people, then I would say, yeah, separation is the best way, because we all need to calm down and to reflect on what we do now, and is it healthy to continue together? When it is more about communication. Communication, one of the biggest problems is that most of the people don't listen to understand, they listen to respond. When you say something to someone and the other person is already ready to answer, he didn't listen. And he didn't let the information come inside. So it would be, the best advice is listen to understand the others. It doesn't mean when you understand that you agree. You don't need to agree. We can't have an agreement to disagree. That is what works the best in a relationship, because a man is a man, a woman is a woman. We can't find each other in the middle. And then on some points agree to disagree. Not to buy a house, of course, because then we don't have any house, but mainly in communication. That's it. And then when you listen to the other, you are able to open your own perspective, because you think like that, because you were raised like that, because your friend does like that, because someone told you, but now you are in a relationship with another person and not with all those people. So what you need to learn is how this person is feeling when she's with you. How is she feeling when she's alone? What motivates her in life? And reciprocity is important, because when it doesn't happen, the other one is going to overcompensate, and the overcompensation is going to be too much at a point, and that's when the divorce happens.
Okay. Well said. So now I want to kind of get into something else, because a lot of people, especially with your expertise, you've traveled all around the islands, all the way to France, to Spain. So you've seen a lot of things that a lot of people haven't seen, especially in African-American culture. We haven't seen a lot of that stuff. So I know you have a complex perspective on the world. And I do want to know, like, looking at the things that we've had to deal with as African-Americans, like just our history. And I'm sure that, and I know that your ancestry have shared the same history to some degree. But just because your world perspective, I think, is going to be a little bit better than what we can provide sometimes. So what I want to know is, having the problems that we have in our culture in America, and I know you see them on TV a lot, as being African Americans, how can we address some of that generational trauma that we have, some of that historical trauma that we have? Because oftentimes we feel left out from our history, our culture, our religion. I mean, we sit here almost as adopted children, as a culture, right? An adopted culture, an adopted people that have no family left behind. So can you help us address that?
Yeah. Let's see, I have a bigger vision on that. So I will begin maybe with that and then come back to the story itself. The bigger vision is that we have learned to watch to some situation in our life from a bad way. So everything that we experience and that looks like this seems bad. I give you the example of being an empath is seen as positive, and being a narcissist is seen as negative. Yeah. So then it gives you, so being adopted, it feels like you are missing something in the world where you live in, because you are in the middle of other people. So then you are going to feel like you miss something, and you are going to create the missing part within you. You could really live without knowing, but the society where we live in makes us in some way remember that we have a defect, and it's not a defect. You understand what I mean? So as long as we think I am not normal, or I don't have that where the other have that, it feels like we are missing something. And then we are going to look for that. Now, outside of that, let's come back to what you asked at the beginning. It's about our culture. African American and the Black from Europe have kind of the same history at the beginning, with being imported, and then from the slavery. Then there is a change, because America became America with everyone living inside of it, and from Europe we were more a little piece out of it. So it changed also the dynamic already for the Black people in Europe and in America. Because in America, it's like it's your home. And for us, our home is a little bit outside of their home, of the white people home, I would say. So it doesn't exist anymore because there are white people in Guadeloupe, where I come from. There are Black people in France. So it's not anymore existing on a real way, but within everyone, there is the history, the DNA. So everything that someone has experienced, and his children and his children and his children, sit in us. So because I come from the slavery, from someone who was deported, I fear that. And then I need to cut the cord of that, because I am not that, because I was not born slave. I was only born now. So I respect everything that happened, but how to respect what they did for us? They made us free. So my recognition is going to be, I'm going to give the best I can, because you did that for me. You died for me, for my freedom. Why am I going to complain today that this white person is not seeing me? I don't care. You fight, so I am free. And that, I think that's, for me, the most important thing within our culture, is that each Black person needs to remember what they did for us. And it's not about saying, yeah, they did that, they did that. No, it's about remembering how far they went to give us the possibility to be free nowadays. And okay, we can say, yeah, we are not yeah, but the white people are still doing that, or the yellow people, I don't care the color. What I realized when I was doing my own ancestral trauma healing is I was doing exactly the story that I explained in the relationship, because I came from a lineage thinking that it was inferior to the white people. So I was continuing this story. Then I meet someone who put me inferior, and I stay inferior. Then my story begins. That's when my story begins. At the moment I decide I am inferior, at the moment I decide I am superior, those people are going to walk away. And I'm going to meet the people who think that they are on the same level than me. You understand? So it's all about also how we see ourselves. And I say that being a person who felt really like, yeah, they don't see me, they don't give me anything, and and I don't fight. I was this person too. But doing my ancestral trauma healing showed me how I was the person putting me aside. And now I was the person, the only one being able to put me in the middle and say, I have the right to be there. So the history of the slavery is a history of resilience, of power, of strength, inner strength. So if they had that, we have that too.
Wow. See, that's some deep shit. I'm glad I talked to you. That is deep. I knew it was a reason why we connected, right? That is some deep shit, for real.
Yeah.
You're almost like the Oracle in the Matrix, right? The black lady, you remember in the Matrix movie? And what's funny to me, is like, hold on. So what's funny to me while I'm sitting here talking to you and I'm listening to you and my eyes are going cross, because I'm like, man, this is on a higher level, you know? I'm looking at the background of where you're at, and it looks like you're in the Matrix. Remember where he made the guns show up? Yeah, so I'm sitting here like, what is she really in the Matrix, or, you know, what is going on? You know, okay, let me stop. Let me be serious. I'm never serious. That's my problem. All the time. Always got to crack some joke or something. But Okay, here we go. So I did this podcast a few days ago with this young lady named Christine. Okay. Or Kristen. I think it's Christine though. And when we were having our back and forth before I hopped on here, because you said, I'm not going to do your funny shows. I'm not doing that funny shit. I want to talk about something serious. I was like, okay, fine. But I was like, I hope she comes on because I have to bring this up. So Christine is a Black woman. Okay. She married a white man in Paris, France. And they had children. And they stayed together for 10 plus years. And I don't know the dynamics of the relationship, wrong or right or wrong. They had 2 kids together. So I'd imagine that whatever was wrong, it must have been right at least twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least 2 times it was right. So, and let me kind of go back a little bit because we started this conversation out for the podcast, and it was about the paranormal. If you know what I'm talking about, like ghosts and things like that, because I met her on a group site called Ghost and All Things Paranormal, and she wanted to talk about how she lived different lives in the past. And we're having this conversation. It's organic. It's about her encounters and her experiences, and she's telling me how she felt as though she was born. She had these visions where she was born back in the 1700s to some type of nobility or outside surrounding some nobility. And she can remember living this life from ages 23 all the way up until death. Right. So I'm questioning her about this paranormal experience for the show. And as I'm listening to her, I start to get the feeling that she's experiencing something else, right? So I start to question more outside of the realm of the paranormal and more on the lines of what are you dealing with mentally? What type of stress is inducing either? It could be real and it could still be stress induced. So I'm not discounting her at all. But I started to hear this in her. And when we started to talk, she started to tell me about her children, right? So ends up, her and this guy is together in Paris for 10 years. Her father dies in Kenya, where her family is at. So she rushes to Kenya to go take care of his burial arrangements. And she's devastated because her father was really important to her. So he was an active father. So she goes down there. And while she's there, this person, so this man leaves her. He waits till she gets to Kenya, and he abandons her in Kenya. And he divorces her. Somehow in France, I guess you can divorce a person without their consent to some degree. But anyway, so she has been stuck in Kenya, and she cannot come back to France, and her children are trapped in France. So she's devastated by this. And, she was a professor. She was a professor in France, a very educated, well-to-do professor in France with a lot of, accolades, same as a lot of people, African Americans. So she's now in Kenya. The family that she has in Kenya is totally disconnected from her because the way that the culture is there, she is almost shunned as an outsider. And she can't make enough money because they don't have great currency power or financial stability in Kenya to provide her with the life that she used to have. So she's basically living in a small shanty, trying to provide for herself and still trying to be a professor to some degree and still trying to teach, but there's nothing for her. I can just see the despair all over her, right, when she's talking. As a matter of fact, I wasn't even sure if she had lights because at a certain point in time she was in the dark, and I asked her for more light, and she turned on a flashlight. So it was very to me, it kind of struck me because I'm like, man, this young Black woman is experiencing this turmoil and this she's in this problem. She's in this situation that's unbearable. And she could use a little bit of encouragement. So from your spiritual therapeutic mind, what can you say to her? Or maybe I can get you guys in contact with each other because she's in need of some Black support. And I told her I was going to try my hardest to bring her some support.
Yeah. Well, you can give her my number first. Second, the problem is if I now speak, just like I said, I don't know what is her state of mind. So some things that I could say now could hurt her more than help her, and I don't know. Because if she really feels the despair, she needs to go into this despair. Just cry on it, writing. Feel the angerness that she has been abandoned, that this person did that his husband did that to her, that she cannot be with her. First cry, because as long as she doesn't let the angerness be, she's not going to be able to think normally. She's only going to think in survival modus. That's now where she is. So she needs to come out of the survival modus. And to come out of it, you need to go into it. So she needs to cry, to feel. Then, normally what happens when we go into the we become really angry, then we are able to feel really the emotions that are blocking us. The shame, the guilt, because there is maybe some guilt. Why did I go? I should have done that. Why didn't I? And so there are a lot of things going on there. Then with writing, it's going to become clear for her what is going on. And then she will have some kind of clarity, because now she's in the dark. That's, I would say, a kind of dark night of the soul. She's in the dark because her soul wanted her to change something. And the soul already tried to tell her for months, years, to change something. She didn't do it. This happened to show her that she has more power than she thinks. That begins there. And especially when you say all the things that she can't, and it's Kenya, it's French. Normally, for what I remember, there were possibilities for her, but she cannot see them now because she's too much into the story of what happened. So she first needs to take control back over her own story. So I'm angry, become angry. You don't need to call him. Just be angry on your own. Feel, cry, box, go outside, walk. Don't be angry too much at other people because it doesn't help. But try, and then new things are going to come. Then what is going to happen when her mind is going to be clearer? Then she's going to be able to see what we call coincidences. Because there are a lot of things already now planned on her path to change her situation. But she is not able to see it because she's too much into the story. So she first needs to come out of the story. Then she's going to see that some things are already there waiting for her, but she was not able to see it or to accept them, or, it can be someone telling her, I have a solution there in another country, and she doesn't think. I just say some example to give you the idea that maybe it's already there. But as long as she's in this story, she's not able to move and to manifest, in fact, what she needs. Because now she's only manifesting more suffering.
Okay. Yeah, that's some dope advice, definitely. And I will get you all in contact because, a big part of this show is it's not just a podcast for me. It's a place for people from all around with different stories to come together and to connect. That's what I wanted it for. So I'm not monetized. So I just do this as a way for all of us to connect, especially on the Black worldwide experiences that we all share, because we have to find some type of commonality with one another in order to build and keep working towards what we ultimately want to achieve. United States of Africa. Okay. So
the problem, for example, now you say that our image from Europe, from America is, especially because I'm Black, so I look at the Black community, I see Black shooting on Black people. Already I think, what are you doing? I don't care. What are you doing? You are in the same country, you want more power, and you kill each other. So how can you get more power? So you understand? It means that they have, just like I said, it's a projection. What they shoot on someone else is because they don't have it for themselves, or because they think respect is more important than anything, because I have nothing. But you have the power which is within you to create a life of beauty. And that's one of the first things that I see, and I think, hey, we are the same. So not even we are, because normally we are all the same. So it means even white and Chinese, but the problem is not black and white. It's within the culture, because what I say about the Black that I see there, I see it also here in Europe. The white from the Netherlands doesn't like the white from Belgium, who doesn't like the white from Germany. It's like, how do you want to create unity if you already cannot accept your own? And I understand why you cannot, because there is this problem of victim mentality that is existing without being said, where we all feel victim of someone, of something. And because we feel that, we are going into the chaos. But there is one good solution. It's coming out of the victim mentality. We are not victim of others. We are victim of ourselves.
Man.
When we choose.
Yes. No, I'm sorry. You hit a nerve with that one. Yeah, we are not. We said we are victims of ourselves, because I was just going to say, like, the biggest perpetrator of your own victimization is yourself.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Nobody else.
You keep saying these very electrifying things that kind of resonate with me, and I'm like, wow, I got to say something. No. This has been great. I'm going to connect you with that young woman, okay? And you can keep us updated, hopefully, in the future. Let us know how things are progressing with her. And if it's anything I can do, please speak up. Or if it's anything that we can all do as a community on this platform, to try to help that young woman out, I think that would be a super cool community project for the Club Geneva community. Let's see. So, with that being said, you have a lot of knowledge, you have a lot of insight, you have a huge brain on you, I take it, from what I'm hearing, and a lot of people are going to want to get in contact with you. So how would a person over here or in China or somewhere around the world get in contact with you and maybe set up some type of therapeutic session or whatnot? How would they do so?
Well, first of all, I have a YouTube channel, which is the name, The Game of Life, The Game of Free Will, from Method for Life. That's what I do. I do that with another person, and it's about explaining, in fact, like I said, for example, we are a victim. So I explain there, how did we build that, and how can we destroy it, in fact, or how can we change that? And then I have a group, Movement of Multidimensional Awareness and Consciousness, and that is on Facebook. And that's where I'm connecting the dots, I would say, with my channel. And if the people want to contact me for therapeutic sessions, then they can write me on Facebook or Instagram. And my name is Ketty Lollia. And then they can find me there and then write me there. And then I could give them some advice. the way I myself coach is really, I give the power back. So it will never be something of 10 years long. We are going to speak. No, it's, I'm all for efficiency. So I'm going to learn you how you can do it yourself by making you aware about the knowledge that you miss within what you now think, to give you the keys to open all the doors and close all the one from the past. That's so I'm really, my therapeutic session are 10 maximal, 20 is my max with someone. Okay. And then I want this person to continue, because I'm not a guru and I don't want to be a guru. I see myself as the hero of my own journey. And I invite all the other people to become their own hero of their own journey, because you can follow your dream or you can work for the dream of someone else. And yeah. I would like to help everyone to work on their own dreams by letting the past in the past, being in the present, and embracing from the present their future.
Wow. Okay. So if you all can see, she's not like a lot of American therapists and counselors who want to like have you forever and always get that, you know, and take that money from you over years and years and years. So she's got 20 counseling sessions or therapy sessions. That's her max. So she's not trying to drain your pockets, but she is trying to help you and send you on your path. And I think that is quite commendable, because we hear a lot of therapists who will have you for 8, 9, 10 years and, you know, just basically friends at this point. You know what I mean? Friends with benefits.
I can't be friends without money. That's the point, because that's what I would love. If you find your own way, you know what is happening now. I have some clients coming back and telling me their story, which makes it for me even completer. Because when I help you and then you come back and you are helped, you explain me how you did this, which is for me more information for someone else.
Yeah. But the most positive thing is that you don't drag people on. You give them those steps. You provide them with the, you know, you give them the tools, and you say at the 20th session, you say, here's your toolbox. Enjoy the journey, right? And I think that's commendable of you. So I would urge anybody to reach out to you. I love what you're doing. And I can tell that you can help a lot of people out, which is why I'm so glad I was able to get in contact with you. I think that lady met with me and I met with that lady so I could meet with you and you could help that lady. And I think that's how we connect as people, by helping one another, serving each other. So yeah, thank you so much. Now I got to admit something, and this is going to be kind of tough to admit. I was nervous the whole time talking to you during the show, because I was like, I'm going to mess her name up if I try to say it. So I avoided it altogether. Right. And because I remember when we had our conversation, I was like, that's going to be tough for me to remember. So why don't you tell the viewers, because I want them to know who you are 100%. Why don't you go ahead and tell them slowly, because we're hard at hearing and we all don't hear the same way. So please let us know who you are again.
My name is Ketty Lollia. And I need to spell it?
Ketty Lollia.
Lollia.
See, that was the problem. Okay, so it's Ketty Lollia, but when like your accent is so, you know, different than ours, when you said it, it sounded like Ketty Lollia. And I was like, Ketty Lollia. I was like, what is that? What does that even mean? Like, so yeah, it made no sense to me when it didn't register. It was, my brain was fried. Okay, Ketty Lollia, thank you so much, and send me your email and your contact information. I'm gonna post it for the viewers. It'll be at the bottom of our conversation here on YouTube. So to everyone out there, thank you for being a part of the Club Geneva experience. I want you all to, not only just listen to the show. I'm trying to connect you with people, so get connected. Don't just sit still. I got everything from paranormal researchers to people who have lost children and are grieving to everything on this show. So my hopes is that any way that you want to connect with the world, I can help you be that connection point. So please reach out to Ketty Lollia.
Ketty Lollia.
Ketty Lollia.
It's
Reach out to her, and I'll let you just go ahead and leave us off. So why don't you address the viewers? Tell them what you want to tell them. You got the floor.
Yeah, no, thank you. Well, to all the people watching, I just hope that you have a nice life. That would be for me the best gift that I would get, is knowing that most of the people are enjoying their path, because we only have one life with this body, and this body has a lot of potential. We only need to find out what is the potential, and to find it out, the only thing that you need to do is watch, but in a positive way. Don't think in negative way, because of course there are negative things of my body, but there are so much positive things. That's where you need to watch to be happy in your life. Everything happens for you.
Well said. You take care, okay? Ketty Lollia, thank you, okay? You have a wonderful day.
Take care.
All right,
bye-bye.